So I finally get back home. I'm sorry I'm late technically on everything. And then I just see this. This new card changes everything from Snooey. So I'm assuming these reveals are going to be super spicy. Let's get to it. Alright, let's look at these lovely cards. Starting from the last one, Samara, we're going to go to the left. Actually, you can't really go to the left. So, here we go. So Falling Star is the card that he had in his intro, in his thing, his thumbnail. There we go. Deal 4 damage to an enemy that attacked this round or is stunned. So that kind of means that I guess they're rotating the other card, the Sunny Bubble, which I actually like to use a lot in my Jin Targon decks because it allows you to get 2 procs off of it. But this one makes it a lot cheaper, especially more specifically. I mean, the stun thing is crazy, especially when you look at who was it, like Set's kind of package. If you go Targon, Ionia, like this card's kind of nuts for like kind of like that if you want to go those 2 things. And there's a lot of good I think you could do with that, like coin into some of the Celestials and stuff like that. But I do really like this card because of the fact that it's slow, but it's a cheaper version. 2 mana, deal 4. It's a slightly better version of it's not a better version, sorry, it's a slightly different version of Flock, right? So really good card. Let me see if I go back. Does it go back? No. See, I don't know why it's like in this weird order, but it's not the order of the thing. So all right, here we go. So Cosmic Youngling, round start, heal me and your Nexus 1. Wow. That's just what the hell? That's kind of nuts, dude. Just because of it's a 2-drop, 1/4, heal me and your neck. So it kind of helps that one archetype, right, of like self-ping, but that's really cool that you have a way to over time heal your Nexus pretty early in the game. It's like a kind of anti-aggro card. I really like this card. Holy, really like Cosmic Younging a lot, just for the heal the Nexus 1 every round start. So you could force it to trade, but if it doesn't get killed, it will start healing itself back up, and you can always sit there and leave it, or you could even start buffing it. An amazing buff target. Oh my god, Targon, I'm coming, Targon. Next up is Eradication. Kill all units with 3 or less power. 6 costs. That could, ooh, do you know what that could mean? That maybe they're rotating Ruination or something like that. It's a little bit cheaper than Ruination, but it has more of a like a stigma to it, like Sigma, like a situation, like a. There's a better word for it, but I can't think of it. But it is interesting to see that maybe they're rotating that card because Ruination is a pretty staple late game card for Shadow Isles. But you know what's crazy though? Like, I also don't want them to make a bunch of dumbed down cards because like they're rotating cards out, because that it's supposed to be 2 separate modes, right? So like if you make like, if you not waste time, but if you make this card, right, because you're gonna rotate Ruination, it kind of screws up that other format, right? Like the actual regular format with all the cards available. Like you won't have like cool new cards because it's like, why would you run this over something else? But this is I'm using it as an example, but this is a pretty cool thing because it allows you to run a buff based deck, right? So if you can have your units have 3 or more power with 3 or more plus, so yeah, 3 power or more, at least 4 power or more, I should say, then you're not going to be affected by this whatsoever. So it's definitely a pretty cool card. I think it's different, and it makes sure a certain deck will not be affected by this effect in comparison to their opponent, who might be running a more aggro. Like both of the last cards we drew, it's like aggro be gone. Next up is going to be Soul Harvest. I don't actually know how to turn the cards. Oh, they do it like this. Here it is. This is the original card here. Similar cards. I guess that's how they do it. Kill a follower with 3 or less power. Another one from there. Or spend 4 mana to kill a champion with 3 or less power. Only, that's interesting. So 2 mana, kill a follower. 4 mana, kill. It's kind of like a real. I mean, I honestly think this is a pretty good card because a lot of the times the champions don't have a lot of power. And this is a very meta-dependent card. Same thing with the last one that I just saw. It's meta-dependent. What is in the meta? Are there a lot of champions with 3 or less power? Hey, Samara gets bopped by this, even if she's evolved. But the problem is that whether it's the follower or the champion, you can easily counter this card by buffing the unit. So very kind of risky, you know, to kind of run this card. Again, super meta-dependent. And I think that this is just the... Okay, look, see, Soul Shepherd into Soul Harvest. Gotta... You know, I don't know how to like just go to the next. I wish I went into the order that's revealed, but it does not do that. But that's a pretty good card. Oh yeah, those are the Soul Harvest. It looks the same. I for some reason made each one separately because I'm new at this. This is a token card. Oh, okay, so it's the Frost Coat Cub. Spend 6 mana to play me as Frost Coat Mother instead. So it's an early 2-cost card if you want, or when you get later in the game, you can turn it into 7/5 thing. It's not a transform, so there is that. I guess that's okay. I guess that's like a, I mean, it's a pretty good card because a lot of times cards don't have a, if you get a 2-drop later in the game, it's like, oh, I don't want to play this. And I think it's an option too, which I do like that it's an option. So later in the game, if you want to play this as a 2-drop, you can. Or if you want to push some more power, you can do that. That's just obviously good. I love options, so that's pretty good. Really like the pup. I think the next thing is going to be the pup, right? Because I just, yep. And then we have the Thrall Bulwark, which is a 3-cost 3/4 Thrall Bulwark. I don't take damage from allied spells or skills. Now we obviously know what that is. I mean, first of all, it's a 3-cost 3/4, which is already good. But that's like, yes, when you use Ice Shard and stuff like that, it won't take damage from it. If you're using like the stances, they won't take damage from it. If you, I don't know, oh yeah, like when you're doing the AoE, I don't take damage. I don't know if that means that it automatically survives. Let's say if Scargrounds is on the field, does he not get the proc because he didn't take any damage? I don't know. But then again, if you have tough, you mitigate the damage too. So you'd have to test this out. But outside of that, whether it works or it doesn't work, that's a pretty good 3-cost to drop in a Freljord deck. So could see some play. Next up is, sorry, I forgot I gotta go up here. Next up is this one, which is gonna be this card. So boom, Search Warrant, fast speed, an ally with +4 power captures a unit, or an ally captures a landmark. This is kind of what I've wanted for Tahm Kench, by the way. Tahm Kench should have this when he comes out. It's either spend a certain amount to capture an ally or spend a certain amount to capture a enemy. That's how Tahm Kench should work. So this one's like kind of giving reputation vibes, because at the very least, you have to have the power, right? So you need an ally with 4+ power to capture a unit or capture a landmark. So it's basically depending. Oh, wait, actually capture a landmark does not need a power thing. So, oh my god, I keep messing that up. So that's cool. So if you want to capture a unit, whether it be ally or, oh my god, if you want to capture a unit, ally or enemy, you need at least 4 power on that unit to do it, which is counterable by certain stuff, by silences, by freezes. Again, meta dependent card. But this one is pretty cool. So 4 cost, capture landmark. Are landmarks popular right now outside of like Rise decks? I don't know. I mean, Volta Helia kind of rised up a little bit, and we always have the bar, right? So I guess this card might see some play, but I don't think so. Probably not. And then we have Form Up. Give an ally +2/+2 this round. 2 costs. Burst Demacia. I like it. Seems like a pretty good card. It's like, I wouldn't say a slightly better Sharp Sight, but like it's, if there's not too much elusives, which I think elusives will be running rampant, this could make me think that maybe they're getting rid of Sharp Sight, but that'd be nuts. Like Sharp Sight is like a really good card to like halt elusive nonsense, so I don't see them rotating that out unless they want you to face or go to certain regions to deal with elusives. That's another thing, or run more challenges, right? That could be the way that they want to get around that. Not exactly sure. So is these all the cards that I go through? Everything? I did. Okay, cool. Now, I know in the last video, I forgot to go over Dashing Dandy and Elegant Edge. Luckily, they basically have the same thing. I do like Elegant Edge, though, like a little bit more than Dashing Dandy, just because of the fact that Elegant Edge can be dropped as a 1-cost, fearsome, and it might be hard to block on turn 1, too. Obviously, if you draw it later in the game, it's pretty irrelevant. But at least you can draw it later in the game and trigger Plunder, and then it is a 3/2 fearsome. That might mean something. The Dandy is obviously the more late game oriented card, and then you have these two on the field. You might even go into the Adroit Artificiary or whatever. That's another option. I just want to go over those really quickly, but I do like Falling Star a lot. I've always loved it in the Sleepy Trouble Bubble thing. You can even run the other part, the 3-cost card by itself too. So if they don't rotate those other ones out, it actually gives you a lot of stuff to do with stunning and dealing damage to units that stunned or just attacked, 4 damage to them. The other one does 5. So really like that. This is going to be pretty good. I really like the Cosmic Youngling. I can't wait to just see like 3 of these on the field and just slowly like healing the Nexus and being absolutely absurd and maybe there's a way that you just slowly outvalue your opponent over and over and over again, or you just get hit by this eradication. That's pretty good. I like this card, but again, it's meta dependent. Same thing with the Soul Harvest, meta dependent. Frostcoat Cub going into the Mother is good. I think you run this in most Failure decks just because it has a lovely upside, right? The super lovely upside. Search Warrant, and then lastly, Burst I think is good, especially if they're gonna rotate Sharp Sight. What do you guys think of these cards? It was very obvious we were gonna get a variety because, like I said, based on the fact that the expansion drops on the 29th, and they're also giving an early preview to people on the 28th, right? So it's very obvious that if you just look at the timeline, tomorrow they'll do the whatchamacallit, right? They're gonna do the package for Jack. 28th, Jack drops, and they give the early access to the streamers and content creators, YouTubers, stuff like that. And then on the 29th, we all get to have fun. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry I was late. I had work and then I had some weird internet issues because I actually Falcon need my computer and knocked the internet out. I was like, what the hell's wrong with my computer? I was like, oh, it's probably because I need it. But yeah, this should be pretty interesting. Any cards that I think is going to be actually used, maybe Falling Star. I think Falling Star might be the only thing used out of this entire package, and maybe Soul Harvest. I think Soul Harvest might be used, depending on what the meta comes in. And I'm going to be spamming Cosmic Youngling. You can't stop me. You can't stop me. But what I could do, hopefully you start with the like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.